We're looking at a number line for the purpose of adding integers. Here's an addition problem, 1 plus 4. Both of these integers happen to be counting numbers. Most people learn how to add counting numbers at a very young age. So by now, most of us have memorized the answer to 1 plus 4. Or we could use our fingers. Or we could use a calculator. But here's the number line way. We put the dot over the first number, the 1, we graph it, and then we look at the second number, it's 4, so we count 4 more. And since 4 is positive, we count to the right, and we land on 5, so 1 plus 4 is 5. Let's reverse those two numbers and do the problem 4 plus 1. We start with the first number, this time the 4. We count 1 more to the right because the 1 is positive, and we land on 5 yet again. Now we're going to add two negative integers. We start at -1. The next integer is -4. We're going to count 4 more, but the negative in the -4 tells us to count to the left. So counting 4 to the left gets us to -5. So -1 plus -4 is -5. If we reverse those two numbers, we start at the -4, count 1 more to the left because the -1 is negative, and we land on -5. Here's a problem that's a positive added to a negative. We start with the first number, the positive 4. We're going to count 1, and since it's -1, we're going to count 1 to the left, and the answer is 3. Now we're going to reverse those two numbers and start at -1. Add 4, that tells us to count 4 to the right, and we land on 3. Here's another problem. -4 added to 1. We start at the -4. We go 1 to the right, and we land on -3. And if we reverse those two numbers, that'll have us start at 1, count 4 to the left because the 4 is negative, and we land again on -3. In an addition problem, the two numbers added together are called the addends. The answer is called the sum. Each line above contains two equations. In each pair of equations, the addends are reversed. Changing the order of the numbers to be added does not change the sum. This is called the commutative property of addition. And formally stated is shown here. For any real numbers a and b, a plus b is equal to b plus a. In some of the above equations, we have made use of the addition fact that 4 plus 1 is 5. And in others, we have used the subtraction fact that 4 take away 1 is 3. Positive numbers all have the same sign. Negative numbers all have the same sign. 0 does not have a sign. It is neither positive or negative. When adding numbers with the same sign, we use addition and make the sign of the sum the same as the sign of the addends. When adding numbers with different signs, we use subtraction. In this case, 4 take away 1. And we make the sign of the sum the same as the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. So while we used 4 take away 1 in all of the problems where the numbers had different signs, some of the problems the answer was positive 3, and in other problems the answer was negative 3. Now here are two larger numbers. We don't want to spend all day counting this out on a number line. So we have 42 and 29. They both have the same sign. They're both positive. So we add them up, and we get 71. Here's a problem where it's -42 and -29. They both have the same sign. So we do the addition problem, 42 plus 29, we get 71, but the answer has to be -71 because both of the addends were negative. In this example, it's -16 plus 25. So we use the subtraction problem, 25 minus 16, and we get 9. And the reason we leave it at 9 is that 25 has a larger absolute value than -16. So the 9 is positive just as the 25 is. Another way of thinking of this, a little more informally, is there's 25 positives, 16 negatives, there's 9 more positives than negatives, so the answer is 9. And in this final example, we have positive 16 and -25. We're still doing the problem 25 minus 16, but in this case, the negative 25 has the largest absolute value, so the answer is negative 9. Or, in a more informal way, there's 16 positives, 25 negatives, there's 9 more negatives than positives, so the answer is negative 9. To summarize, in an addition problem, the two numbers added together are called the addends. The answer is called the sum. Addition is commutative. That means that the order of the addends does not matter. Or more formally, for any real numbers a and b, a plus b is equal to b plus a. When adding numbers with the same sign, use addition and make the sign of the sum the same as the sign of the addends. When adding numbers with different signs, use subtraction and make the sign of the sum the same as the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value.